Jesus always creates a path home. I love the conclusion of this encounter with Jesus, the man of action. Verse 11 says that Jesus looks at the man. He can't be known as the paralyzed man any longer. He's not paralyzed. Labels don't stick when it comes to Jesus. People may have labeled you. That's not who you are. You are who God says you are. You're his son, you're his daughter. And Jesus looks at him and he says, I tell you, get up, take your mat and go home. Verse 12 tells us he got up. He grabbed his mat and he walked out in full view of all of them. I wish I could have seen this. Yeah. Why does Jesus not let the man stay? Why does Jesus not throw like a party right then and right there for him? Why does Jesus want to get him moving immediately? You know, Jesus should be the one that is ushered out before the crowd, but Jesus is making a way through the crowd for this man. Wow. Tells him immediately, not just to leave, but tells him, you need to go home. In other words, I want you to get out of this crowd. I want you to get on a path to purpose. I don't want you to hang around here and have to prove to the critics that your healing is legit. I don't want you to hang around here and get caught up as a fan. You're not my fan, you're my follower. You've had a touch from me. Now I'm not just touching you, but I am empowering you to walk out your God-given purpose. Jesus is saying to the man, I haven't just healed you. I have a hope in front of you. Now get up and get out of here. There's more for you than what is right here. You gotta keep moving. See, salvation, it's a one-time moment where you go from death to life, where you go from darkness to the light of Jesus Christ. But that's not all that God has created for you. He's created a path home for you. He's created a journey in front of you. And he never meant for you to be saved and set free just so you could stay around the same people, just so you could fall into the ways of the crowd. No, he has a path that is different. There's not a lot of people on that path. There's not a lot of the crowd. But friends, it's the straight and narrow, and it's full of joy and peace, the power of the Holy Spirit. Jesus is saying to this man, there's nothing left for you here. It's time for you to move. Yeah, amen. Good. It's time for you to go. Some of you've surrendered your life to Jesus, but you feel stagnant. You feel stale. You feel stuck. Maybe it's because you're still in the crowd. You thought I forgot about the crowd earlier. No, the crowd is a major part of this story. And all throughout Mark, he highlights the crowd. But do you know that Mark doesn't show us one time where the crowd actually repents and turns to Jesus? After all the times they hear him speak, after all the miracles that they witness, they are stuck, they are stagnant, they are apathetic. And the main component that we see, the characterization of the crowd in Mark 2, is they are constantly an obstacle for people to get to Jesus. Very good. There's no change in them. There's nothing going on inside of them. They just showed up to spectate, entertain us, let us see something new, what could happen today, but we don't want to apply it. And they surround him and they obstruct others from getting to him. Jesus did not want this man who had just had an encounter, had been healed from the inside out, to get stuck in that quagmire. Instead, Jesus is saying, you gotta get going. I have a path for you. That's why we have the growth track. You can go today. You can decide, I'm not going to be stuck in the crowd. I made a decision to follow Jesus, and that means that my feet are going to move. That means that my hands are going to pick up a corner. That means that I'm going to learn what Jesus said and what he did. If he's a man of action, then I want to be a man of action. It's time for me to grow. It's time for me to walk. It's time for me to get on the path homeward. Jesus knows where he's leading you. He will never save you and set you free just to leave you in your pit. He will always show you a way out.